Everything new is a saved-in-time old. That's a paraphrase of a well-known Russian proverb in respect to the newly opened Italian karting circuit. Two-stroke engines roared around the Lignano Sabbiadoro location in the province of Friuli, but after a closer look, it was found that the track was not built yesterday and even not the day before yesterday.
This track was built 5 years ago, but worked only for about the first year, without doing races, but only for free practice. Then suddenly very big economical problems happened because there were some bureaucratic problems.
Second round of EasyCart Trophy became the first race at the renovated circuit. It took only 5 minutes walking around the parking to hear the Russian speech. The native speaker turned out to be Maxim Milenin, amateur karter from Moscow. He decided to spend his vacation here.
Давали пару трасс, одна из них была Коридония, в общем-то трасса с историей, и другая вот совершенно новая трасса. Очень хотелось посмотреть, как в современной Италии строят трассы. Разница, конечно, гигантская.
Italy has more than 100 sport karting circuits. Several of them are called international, and it's difficult to surprise anyone with something new. But this track, it emerged, impresses even on the lived-in locals.
The track it's really beautiful because it's on the plane. The asphalt is regular like a billiard. It's really a nice track, fast, where the engine can give the best of their performance.
The speed at the end of the straight is truly impressive. Even 11-13-year-old racers in junior category reach 125 km per hour. This offensive crash at the start of the final race involved one of the front-runners of Italian EasyCart, Simone Cunati. This time is settled without any serious consequences. Guy's cervical vertebrae proved strong. Is the new track in Lignano Sabbiadoro really that good?
For 60 maybe it's a little too fast, and so basically 60s use 100% of gas and maybe 80% of track.
Best lap time going into the books, as the first track record was set by Mauro Simoni from shifter category. Italian covered 1,200 meters in 51 seconds, which means an average speed about 85 km per hour. Heats of the children's categories are the most interesting for the spectators, thanks to the number of participants and the closest possible fight. Here you can find young sportsmen from all around Europe, and Russia is represented by Robert Schwarzman at this event. 9-year-old from St. Petersburg had already a victory in the international grand final under his belt and competes in EasyCart races to win. He didn't manage this at the first round in Ottobiano. Robert finished 11th there. This year he races both easy and more serious children's category, mini-kart.
Конечно, в EasyCart мотор хуже, а в мини очень классно, и мне больше понравилось мини.
Win in the qualifying didn't come, only third fastest. Deficit was 200th only, but how we mentioned, competition is high in junior categories. Robert gains one position at the start and takes over the lead after a couple of laps, but can't disappear from his pursuers. His main competitor, Mattia Drudi, is in the determined mood. Mattia was fastest in qualifying and clearly isn't going to surrender in this race. Here he's overtaken Giulio Tomasin resolutely. Children in karting mostly have wonderful relationship with each other, but they are relentless rivals on the track. This time, for example, it's Robert Schwarzman squeezing himself through past Drudi rather impolitely.
Объехали, и я просто за то, что они меня толкали, я их вывез на газон покататься.
Drudi drops back for the time being, but here's another dangerous opponent coming to the front. Winner of the first round, Roberto Roberti. On the next lap, Russian driver attacks his Italian namesake, but he doesn't want to give up. They begin exchanging positions several times and lose time with the battle. Therefore, Mattia Drudi is right behind them again soon. Realizing it's impossible to linger, Schwarzman makes another move and begins to pull away. Take notice of Roberti's gesture, urging competitors to try and catch disappearing Schwarzman and not to lose time in the fight. But it's too late. Schwarzman's rush into the victory. Russian driver's best lap time came on the very last lap of the race. Drudy drove his record lap 200 faster and could finally take the second place from Roberti. So Russian Robert Schwarzman is celebrating his first victory this year. The whole season that started for Russia quite well is ahead. As you remember, Daniel Krat stormed through the local circuits like a real hurricane, winning 4 international races in succession. Time and Sport TV channel's special stage program will tell if Krat's young colleague can maintain Russia's high authority in the European karting. We are certain to see Russian winners in higher echelons of motorsport in the future, but that needs some years of waiting. And in conclusion, let us take an interest in whom does this boy support in Formula One.
За Феррари я раньше болела, а сейчас я болею за Мерседес и БМВ. Потому что в Мерседесе есть Хэмилтон, быстрый пилот, и в БМВ есть, как его, забыл.
There you are. At the end of the day, it's all the same for him. So how about supporting Russians?